BeastNet is brought to you by James Safety Services in partnership with OCR Buddy and OCR Strong. Here we discuss all things OCR and fitness related. Welcome to BeastNet.
Hey everybody, Mike with BeastNet here, and today it's me and Brother Boggs. So we're gonna have a little fun episode here where we're just kind of talk about where we are on things. It's been a while since we've had an update episode that just kind of let you as the listeners know what's going on in the BeastNet world. So we decided to jump on real quick and do that. So I'm gonna let Brother Boggs take over for a little bit, and then I'll kind of chime in and we'll talk back and forth on kind of where we're at in the BeastNet world and where we're going. So where we at, Don?
So yeah, it's been a heck of a winter. You know, I joined up with More Heart Than Scars and did a couple more races with them. And well, you can quit calling me Brother Boggs. It's no longer I'm not a friar or a monk. They knighted me, so now I'm Sir Boggs, which is interesting. So I always tell people not to call me Sir, but
yeah, my
surname is Sir. But yeah, so real quick, if you watch, there's a video of it. I'll show right now.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Boys and girls. Everybody come around. Circle in. I need I need Andrew and I need Brother Boggs. Brother Don, can you come to the front, please? I need you. I need you and I need Andrew.
And you need the knee.
I need to kneel. On your knees, gentlemen. So, both of you, for anybody, for those that have never seen a knighting or a dame ceremony, we do this to our family, to our people who have been with us for a long time, really put in a lot of work and dedication and all of their hearts into this amazing family that we have kind of all, I think we've kind of just picked one up here and picked one up there, but we have this beautiful, amazing family. And you guys are two people who have been with me for a long time. You're just about from the beginning, and you too, because you were the first person to ever interview me. And you two mean so much to me. You're both my safe people, and that's really huge. I don't have very many. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'm going to knight you. So the questions are, do you have more faith than fear? Do you have more love than hate? Do you have more hope than despair? Do you have more heart than scars? By the power of Sir Nubby's Haven and from Sir Thomas St. John, you are now knighted. Do you have more faith than fear? Do you have more love than despair?
Ice cream sandwich.
You have more hope than despair. Do you have more heart than scars? And by the powers of Sir Nubby's Haven and Wendy and Sir Thomas and Sir St. John, you are now knighted. Welcome to the and you guys are my first that I've ever knighted.
Yes, sir. One more. It's Andrew's birthday. I've been waiting.
With the sword. Happy birthday. Got one more thing.
We have one more.
One more thing. One more thing. Yay! Okay, we're all finished here. Andrew, I've never seen your
hard it's been keeping that shit for the
last
last 2 weeks.
I kept getting questions. Is somebody getting knighted this week?
And that was a cool little video showing me getting knighted.
Kind of cool.
that was amazing going down to Atlanta, doing the super and the sprint down there with wheelchairs. We had upwards of 30 to 35 people, I think it was, on Sunday out on course together as a group. Unfortunately, Spartan doesn't do the biggest group anymore. And honestly, I haven't found a Spartan Plus yet. So I'm a little curious what they're doing this year, but we'll call it a retooling year. How's that sound?
It sounds like it. I mean, and a lot of things I've noticed that too. In San Antonio, it was that way. There really wasn't a whole lot of, I think it's after COVID and all the restrictions, they're trying to find their legs again. I know with being in street team and stuff like that, I'm getting a lot of emails saying they're going to be updating and changing and doing things how street team are done and all that stuff. So, because I wasn't sure if I was even going to do street team again, but I think I'm going to test it and see what happens.
Nothing wrong with testing it out. This year Spartans numbers have been drastically down, and they need to get back out there and beat the pavement and show up at other events, whether it's marathons or other DECA style events or High Rocks events, and get the name back out there that they're not dead.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it too is like we've mentioned before, where a lot of us old timers, I guess if you want to call us that, have gotten a little frustrated with the cookie cutter. We really liked the old school Spartan that was, hey, all of a sudden you're going to show up and you see some obstacle that came out of the brainchild of some demon from a hell, and you've never seen this thing before. And now you're like, oh, and now it's like the one I did in San Antonio was pretty much the exact same race that I did in Seattle last year. The only difference is terrain.
Well, in San Antonio, you had the advantage of doing it twice.
Well, yeah, they called it the Super Ultra.
Yeah.
Because it was 2 loops of a sprint with extra obstacles. So by the end, it was 50. I've heard 53 and 54 are the two numbers I keep hearing of how many obstacles there were. It felt like 100. I know by the end of it, I'd done almost 300 burpees, because by that second lap, your arms are smoked, because it was all hanging obstacles, lifting. And then when you failed an obstacle, of course, you do burpees, and then you do your burpees, and then your arms are even more smoked. And then all of a sudden you can't do the next obstacle. And then it was a never ending cycle. So, but I mean, it was one of the worst things I've ever done, but I would love if they were going to do that again. And they told me flat out, we're going to do another Super Ultra, I'm there.
Yeah. And I'd like to see a little bit more of that. I saw posted up a couple of like super specific obstacles that they're launching this year. So that'll be a nice change. That way it's not the same things on every race. I mean, some of it, you'll have the cargo wall with the Irish table, and then they take off the table for the sprint. But it looks like they're going to have some other ones that are just specific to the super to try to get a little more engagement with that race. That's the one that I think sees the least amount of people, because they all do the beast and then they're smoked and do the sprint.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with that. So, and I mean, but for me, I mean, really this year, I'm only doing besides, I mean, I did the San Antonio, but now it looks like I'm doing Seattle, the trifecta. And then because I'm insane and my wife suddenly can travel, we can suddenly have an extra week of travel. I'm doing Hawaii the next week after Seattle. So I'm doing back-to-back trifectas. And then I'm not doing another Spartan until Dallas. But I've got the Ironman in between there. So that's partly too why I'm not doing the Portland race. I can't remember. It's either is the day of the Ironman or it's the weekend before. But I don't want to do anything that close to Ironman. Ironman is that's my focus this year. I'm getting that damn thing. That's why I spent, Sunday with Brian, and we were at LA Fitness in over 3 hours of just swimming, biking, running, trying to get into that, used to jumping from one to the other and everything like that, and try and get that down. So.
Yeah. And while you were doing that, I was down at the BeastNet workout day in Kent, where we had, just shy of a half dozen people show up, which, post-COVID world, a lot of people are still not coming out for events. I've talked with other people in other regions, and they're seeing kind of the same thing, that it's been real hard to get people back up off their couch the last 2 years of sitting there eating potato chips. Maybe they're afraid to come out or whatever, but there's no judgment. Come out and join us. The next workout is going to be on May 1st. It's the final tune-up before the Spartan in Montana. since the biggest team locally here is the Beast OCR, and their big travel weekend is always the race over in Montana. So we've teamed up with Coach Brandon, and we're going to do a final tune-up. And this one's going to be up at Centennial Park in Bothell, which we're going to be doing a lot of trail running as well as lifting, carrying, squatting, heavy stuff, and of course burpees. You always have to have burpees. But it's the final tune-up. We'd like to see a good group out there. You guys, anybody that's traveling to Montana from the Seattle area, come on up. It's up in Bothell, and I think you'll get a good workout and get ready for it.
Yeah, it should be a good one. All I have to say about that is buck burpees, but I still have some of those stickers somewhere. I love those ones. But that's one of those, that'll be a good one to get a good tune-up for Montana. And for those not going to Montana like me, I'm heading to Bend to go hang out with Tammy, who's a great friend of the show, who we do a lot with, for the Rise Challenge event. And I'm going to do the Ranch Challenge down there with Tammy instead of going to Montana.
Well, and the nice thing down there in Oregon, you guys are going to be doing a lot of different movements. It doesn't have the same obstacles as anybody else. I don't think the Ranch Challenge has got the shotgun entry or any of that. It's got some stuff that's very specific to that race that you're not going to see anywhere else other than Tammy's races, as far as I've seen. Again, guys, May 7th, that's 2 weeks from now. We've got the Rise Challenge events. If you're especially an Oregon Beast, any of those Beasts OCR in Oregon, head east, get over there to Bend, Oregon, and do that race. The travel up to Montana is a little tougher for you, so get over to Bend, Oregon, and check it out. Same thing if you're in Utah or even in Boise. That's a nice central location, not that far of a drive.
And the Blockbuster's there. The last Blockbuster in the world's in Bend. Just saying.
Yeah, there's actually a movie about that on Netflix too. So get down to Bend, Oregon, check out the last Blockbuster.
I got a t-shirt, the Be Kind Rewind. Everyone always asks how long I've had that. I'm like, well, since November when I was there.
And then May 31st, that weekend, we got another Rise Challenge events coming up, don't we?
Yes. Memorial Day weekend is actually 2. You get 2 that weekend. Actually, and if you sign up for both, you actually get a third. You get a gun safety class with Liberation Firearms while you're there too. It's the Troops Challenge and
Battle of the High Desert.
Yeah, Battle HD. So those 2 in the same weekend. It's one right after the other. And those are the ones that, you've seen the big things like Jesse and I and Tatiana won the Troops Challenge 2 years ago. And then Battle HD is another fun one. That's one that did not happen last year because of some issues, but that's one with heavy lifting. They've added 2 shooting stations, not just the one. There's a lot more to that. Go back and listen to some of my episodes with Tammy talking about those. They're great events. I love Tammy's events. I love the creativity. It's just like this last weekend, we went and did Summit Swamp. Yeah. So when you'll see pictures on our the BeastNet, videos, you have some videos that I posted on there of stuff that me and Brian and Felicia did. I'm sure Don's working on another video because he was wearing his camera on his head. Yeah, GoPro thing. So we got a bunch of videos from there. I mean, that's an amazing event too. I love these local ones because it's like I say all the time, it's ingenious. Some of these ideas, the Summit of Swamp, they have some tires that are just stacked up. It's a tower of tires that you have to climb up with a rope. That's just so much fun. Rise Challenge, the Ranch Challenge, they do almost the same thing, but it's hay bales that you go almost 15 feet up in the air, climbing up ropes up the side of hay bales, trying to climb up the hay bales. They have a hay bale stacking challenge. There's all these different, when you get these little regional ones, they have the great innovative ideas because they don't have to think about how do I ship this to the next place. They don't have to be, they can build it and just put it there.
Yep, that's one of the things with Hazel Anna's property. There's probably a half dozen obstacles that are permanently mounted on her property.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Summit to Swamp, we've already got the date for next year. leading up to it, there's a lot of people that for 2022 were like, oh man, if I'd have known, I'd have been there. So we're going to start right now and let you know that April 22nd, 2023 is the Summit to Swamp Challenge down in Randall, Washington. You have no excuses not to put it on your calendar now. April 22nd, 2023. Come on down to Randall. You'll have a great time. They have a potluck afterwards. I mean, everybody it's a great family environment. They had a treasure hunt and raffle drawing afterwards. And man, I think everybody who stayed after ended up bringing something home. So I really, really appreciate everything Hazelana does down there to make it such a great family event.
She does a great job. And that's, like I said, that's another reason why I like some of these local ones. I mean, it's the same people all the time that are running it and volunteering it and everything else. And you get to know them and you realize just how, I mean, a lot of them, they're not in it to make money. This isn't their way of like their get rich scheme way. This is just them loving the sport and helping it grow.
Yep.
And that's what's amazing about all of these. So that's Hazelana. She just loves the sport and loves to help it grow. And it's the same thing with the Rise Challenge events. Tammy, I'll tell you, most time, usually it's a lost leader for her. She's usually not making money on them. She's losing money, but she loves doing it and she loves putting it on for us and loves designing these things. It's just a matter of getting people to know that it's there. I mean, I know it's way out in Bend, Oregon, but it's worth it.
Well, and you know, talking with the local OCR race directors, Tammy, Hazelana, Claire Painter, you know, all of them, it's just, if they can break even, that's a great race.
Yep.
If they have people that show up and have fun and maybe they lost a couple $100, that's a good race. So, I mean, it's not about bringing in the big dollars or, you know, like Spartan having 10,000 people a weekend and all that. You know, it's all about the family fun, getting together and having a great time.
Yeah, it is. It is. So what are things, I mean, that's one, you know, we got some of the local races coming up, stuff like that. Like, you know, I mentioned, I'm probably going to Hawaii this year again. But really, I don't have a lot besides the triathlons. Like a lot of people know that listen to the show. I've been highly focused on the triathlons this year because, you know, I don't know how much people really understand that the DNF, what that did to me mentally. It mentally pretty much destroyed me. And a lot of people I don't think understood that, because I mean, went right afterwards. I did the Tough Mudder like a week later, and then a month later I was out there doing the ultra in Dallas. But mentally it did some damage. It did a lot of damage, and I think it hurt too, because, you know, Dallas did not go the way I wanted it to, and a lot of people don't know that, but a lot of people don't know too, I had a broken rib while I was doing Dallas. So the end of last year took a lot out of me mentally. And that's why I think this year I focused so hard on trying to, I mean, I'm swimming, you know, right now I've been doing 6,000 yards a month, and I think I'm going to up that to 10, you know, because I need to get that down there. So, and that's one of the things I think a lot of people, you know, why I'm not focusing so hard on the OCR. You know, I know that's the original BeastNet was OCR, but we've really grown over the years where it's more just health and everything else and fitness. We got the show with Megan where we talk about that kind of stuff and, you know, nutrition and health and everything else. And that's kind of my evolution has become, you know, triathlon. So that's, I mean, you're probably going to hear more triathlon from me coming out than OCR. I'll talk about OCRs because I still love them, but triathlon's kind of become my new thing.
Well, and occasionally, you know, it's good to branch out and do something different, especially, you know, the triathlons and the Ironmans, because the Ironman's the one that smoked you. And this year, you know, with all the training you're doing for the triathlons and all the training you're doing in general, it should be a lot better results for the Ironman this year.
Should be, and a lot better bike. So,
yep. You know, myself here in 3 weeks, I'm doing probably the stupidest thing I've done ever. Yeah. And you know, I've already done a 50 miler and done a handful of 31K ultras and marathons. I've done a lot of stupid stuff, but I think I finally found the thing that's top of my list for stupidity.
For now.
Going to be doing the Ultrafecta in Fayetteville, North Carolina, assigned to a wheelchair at each race. So more hearts.
That was only 2 of them. Yeah, that's what I thought. We had this conversation in the drive. I told you you'll end up doing it on 3.
Yeah. So I signed up originally for Fayetteville to be my makeup race for the Dallas Ultra because I had COVID during the Dallas Ultra and was unsent. So I signed up, probably the first person from More Heart Than Scars to sign up. And here a couple weeks ago, I get a text saying, "Hey, Erica wants to go out and do this ultra." And we've been pushing, getting our times better, and Erica's just a beast when she's out there tearing up the trail in her wheelchair. And so when I was asked if I wanted to be on the chair, I said, you know what? Doesn't matter what it is, it's always the team before myself. So I'd be on the chair, and Amanda from the Sober Spartans is going to join us, and I believe Andrew, the other person who was knighted with me, Sir Andrew, he's going to join us, and so it'll be 4 of us on the chair plus an athlete, which is a much lighter crew than we usually do. But for the ultra, we need to keep it rolling. And then I was like, you know what, I'll sign up for the sprint, whatever, a little bit of active recovery. And then I got a text earlier this week from Joey saying that Nicole, the Miss Georgia, who really enjoyed me on her chair in Atlanta, specifically requested that I come do the super with her. And I had no interest in doing the super, but you know what? I just told him, give me some moleskin and some duct tape, and I'll do the super. It doesn't matter. It's always team before self. So that's the plan there. And then time permitting, I'll be doing the sprint also. But with the super, we might be running a little bit late, so I won't be at the starting line with the team for the super or for the sprint. So, but yeah, an ultrafecta. So I went from doing an ultra just to challenge myself to now I'm doing an ultrafecta in support of wheelchair athletes. And here recently, I kind of reached out to Coach Megan, the OCR trainer, one that does the once a month podcast with us, and asked her for some tips and tricks because she's currently doing a program for people doing ultras. And so her and I sat down and kind of lined out some things I need to work on. And, it's working out pretty good, actually. We did a workout, like you said, this morning with Brandon and some of the other team. And man, before 3 months ago, when we first started doing the workouts this year, I was feeling beat after the workouts. Today, I got done with the workout. It was a harder workout than some of the earlier ones. I went home, I took a quick shower, went to the fair, spent, I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours at the fair, walking around, doing all that stuff. And, I'm still upright and breathing and feeling pretty good today instead of beat down. So the stuff that we're working on seems to probably be doing something good for me.
That's good.
Aside from that, Spartan wise, the only other thing I've actually signed up for is the Central Florida season finale for More Heart Than Scars. That's December 12th ish. I don't know exactly because I don't have a calendar in front of me, but it's right around there. And it's the weekend where Spartan splits the course. They have Spartan there and Tough Mudder. Yeah. So I'm hoping, but again this year, I haven't really looked to see if they are. And I'm hoping that we can get through some of the races fast enough where I can get out and run the Tough Mudder course also, just to have some extra fun down there.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, you should come.
I'm trying to figure that one out. That's, for those that don't know, my and my wife's plan right now is in December is to finish getting the house cleaned up and set up to be sold. So, yeah. So that's why it makes it a little difficult to plan on doing a trip in December.
Yeah, but it's worth every minute of it. It's one of the 2-mile freaking swamp walks you'll ever do.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've heard. So it's one of those things. I mean, one of the things I'm looking forward to is once, if everything goes right for me and my wife, the way we're looking at it, and I'm in Texas, I'm going to be able to hit a lot more and help the More Heart Than Scars. Because that's one thing. I support them everything way I can, but I've yet to do an actual race with them, and I want to. Because I really want that experience to help people, because we all know that's always been my philosophy. I'll go run a race and do whatever and challenge myself, but if somebody needs a hand, I'll stop and help them and completely blow any chance I have it. Not that I have a chance at podium or whatever, but my PR is not more important than helping somebody. So
man, that's
yeah.
going back to the first time I raced with you, in an OCR, and we talked about that almost from day one, how the community and the team was much more important than the self from day one.
Yep.
And I think that's definitely something that you see out there. There is some people that, all they care about is a PR or whatever. But man, I tell you, you find someone wearing a BeastNet jersey, you're going to find somebody that's going to be there to help you the whole race. And, recently there's actually been a lot of BeastNet jerseys I've been seeing on Instagram. A lot of people across the country getting them now from Legendborn. And, Legendborn's our jersey manufacturer, cute little logo right there.
They make great stuff.
Can't say enough about David and the team there. It takes a little while to get them because they are built for every single person specifically. So it's like 8 weeks or whatever, but get them ordered now so you can get out on the course. It's a great looking shirt. Jersey.
Yeah. And that's been one of those things that, from the start, when, me and Don, when I pretty much, like a lot of people know, I pretty much handed BeastNet over to Don and everything. And when I did, and we were talking, I told him from the beginning, it's always been a show about helping people. It's always been a show about team first, everything else. That's why at certain times, we've had to step away from certain things as, Team BeastNet, because we needed it to make sure that Team BeastNet was getting the best that they could, because it was team first, not individual. And that's why, we also occasionally will do stuff that, we need to for the team that may not be always the best for like an individual on the team. But, we want to do the best that's going to be for the team as a whole, but we want to make sure we take care of everyone at the same time. We are a team and we're a family. We're more than a team. We're a family. Everyone on this team, I consider family and would, do anything for anyone in this family.
Speaking of team, we got a couple of real good sponsors that sponsor the show. One of which is James Safety Services that puts on community CPR, AED, first aid classes. They've got one coming up here, actually in just about a week on April 30th down in Orting, Washington. And it'd be a great place for if you're lapsed on your certificate, or if you need to just go ahead and touch up your tooling or whatever, or first time getting out there and getting certified. Come on down and see them. That's who pays to keep the show on the air. So anything you guys can do to help out, come on down and see those guys at James Safety Services, which realistically is Mike and I. Yeah, but no, it'll be another great course. I'll repost the information on it here with the show notes, and hopefully we can see some of you down there.
We might be using Don as an example so that he knows how to tape himself up back after he gets destroyed in his race.
Yeah, like I said, duct tape and moleskin. I'll make it.
Duct tape and moleskin. We'll figure it out. I got all sorts of first aid stuff I can give you. I have all sorts of bonus stuff that I can hand you that you can take with you. So
yeah, is to place a drop shipment to Joey's house for the day before I get there.
Yeah.
And all the things that I need will show up before we head out from his house to North Carolina. Because flying directly would be great, but the team, we gotta move all those wheelchairs, so we gotta meet at Joey's house and drive to wherever the race is.
Which hey, that's once again team first. Team first. It's what would be more easier for you would be to fly there directly, but team first. You got to help. You can't just tell Joey, say, hey, cool, we'll meet you at the course, good luck loading up those wheelchairs and shit.
Yep. And that's funny thing is, when we go out and set up on course, I'm always there whatever time he says he's going over. I usually try to beat him there, just because I want to be there and help get it set up and have the team ready to go. What other things we got coming up here, Mike? We got the first aid class. We got the sponsors. Of course, there's a Sweet Treat Candle Company, Michaela Sweet Treats Candles.
She has some pretty cool candles there.
Yep. And I'll include that in the notes also. And of course, just all our great friends at Phoenix Race OCR. They do all the southwest or southeastern, midwestern, whatever you want to call it, Arkansas, Georgia, Kentucky, all throughout that mid-south there. And that's one of the races. Julie doesn't charge adaptive athletes. I don't know if you guys have seen that post that I've done that before, but yeah, Julie doesn't charge adaptive athletes, so she wants them all out on course, and then Joey is the adaptive safety man, and he makes sure everything's run safe. So
Yeah, which is, I mean, awesome. I mean, having great, and I mean, that's like we keep saying, the community. I mean, that's one of the things over there. And that's one thing I think we're missing a lot on the West Coast is you have all these smaller races on the East Coast that all work together. I've watched Julie talk with, Indian Mud Run. I can't remember the guy's name, but talk to him to help him set things up. They don't, it's not a us versus them. It's like, we're all in this together. Let's help each other. And I've watched Julie help other smaller races and help them in doing things. And I've seen a lot of the races work together that way. And unfortunately, I don't see that as much here in the West Coast.
Yeah, Julie, actually, her and Hubie Cushman from Indian Mud Run and a couple other races there, they just banded together. They're doing a specific Legend-born jersey you can only get if you complete all 4 of the Ohio races. It's a great idea, and it's something that's going to be really interesting to see.
It'll be great to see when I'm over there and can get closer to it.
Okay. So what else there, Mike?
None I can think of. I mean, mainly just get out there, train, work hard, just do hard shit.
Yep. I like that. Do hard shit every day. Do something that scares you every day. That's the big thing I was talking about with Megan was mindset. Because going into the ultra, this is like the first race I think in my career where I've actually felt a little bit of fear, and that's something different for me. But that's something we're probably spend a whole episode on here shortly, talking about that, Megan and you and I.
We probably should, because that's been a really big thing for me lately, and I've mentioned it on quite a few episodes. Is the mental. Actually, this winter destroyed me. I mean, I'm back up to about 235, which isn't huge, not where I was, but it's not where I want to be. And there's a lot more muscle in that. But still, it's just this winter, my training dropped off, everything else. I've been doing a mile a day and then actually a 5K a day since the first of the year, but I'm not where I was mentally.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Just reminded me, Justin Scholl was supposed to come back on the show and talk about the mental game. So that'll probably be the next in the next couple of weeks here. We'll get everybody back on, and whether we do it in small groups or whatever, we'll get that figured out. I just wanted to get on the show and talk about what's going on, talk about the workouts. I get a lot more participation. If you look at the BeastNet page, I post all the workouts there. They are mobile. They move to different areas. We've been as far north as Marysville, as far south as Puyallup, and everywhere in between. We've got Centennial Park coming up, Jefferson Park in Seattle coming up, and I believe it's Ben Franklin Park or something like that up in Everett. Virginia asked us to come up and host one in her backyard, so we're going to come up there and do one at her place. So,
hey, that'll be fun. I miss Virginia. Virginia's another one of our family that we need to get back into doing stuff with us. So, and that's been the hardest part during COVID. There was a lot of our family that's kind of we've lost. We not lost, but we just haven't been able to do as much with them as we used to. And that's what I this weekend really showed me that I missed. And I think that's been part of my mental over the last few months. I haven't had that family to fall back on when things go bad.
Yeah, it's just been you and I.
Yeah, well, I'm Brian, but Brian's been that's because me and Brian, we both suffered through that loss. That took both of us out.
Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Bring however the hell that works. But yeah, this is we're just going to toss this up, and we're going to have a little bit of info, some of the pictures from this weekend, and next week you've got back with another episode with Megan on May 1st. So that'll be an awesome episode. I'll be editing that and getting it up, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, we can't wait to do this again soon. I mean, I think we should actually plan on doing this like once every other month or something. Just have an update episode that says, hey, this is where we're at. So, yeah.
Be a great idea. Appreciate your time.
All right. You too. Have fun. And yeah, we'll talk again soon.
Thanks for listening to the BeastNet podcast. If you haven't done it yet, find us on Facebook, like and share the podcast. Give us a review on iTunes or Spotify. All these things will help to expand the show in the future. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear.